Letitia James, in her 2018 run for New York State Attorney General, stated she would prosecute Donald Trump. She fulfilled her promise but neglected to do anything about corrections officers savagely beating inmates, paralyzing and unaliving them. Letitia James and the Office of the New York State Attorney General have defended correction officers in civil cases. They have turned a blind eye to the abuses inmates have suffered, and ultimately, they've emboldened beat up squads to administer artificial justice, not sanctioned by any criminal court. Don't be fooled by their fake NPR voices and press conferences. They care not for truth, but instead use the veil of social justice when convenient and become blind, deaf, and dumb when their political allies engage in atrocities. Wake up. This article is from the freelancenews.org, written by J.B. Nicholas. Prison guard beat up squad killed Robert Brooks, operated for years. Attorney General Letitia James' office knew it. 2023 deposition in federal civil rights lawsuit warns state officials of prison guard beat up squad that killed Robert Brooks. December 26, 2024. A lethal beat up squad of out of control corrections officers killed Robert Brooks in an upstate New York prison while he was handcuffed, court records show. Other court records show the same beat up squad has operated for years at the prison. The Marcy Correctional Facility, even though high ranking state officials knew about it, including Attorney General Letitia James, whose office is now conducting a criminal investigation into Brooks' killing. We know now that the office has recused themselves, and obviously we know why, because of a conflict of interest. Sergeant Glenn Tromley was the alleged leader of Marcy's beat up squad. The freelance reports exclusively. CO Anthony Farina was another alleged member of the Marcy beat up squad and was beside Tromley the night earlier this month they killed Brooks, according to police. Every prison maintains a squad of corrections officers whose official job is to maintain order by breaking up fights between prisoners, quelling disturbances, or responding to assaults on or defiance of staff called red dot emergencies. Members of the squad rotate but tend to be among the physically largest guards working in the facility or the most aggressive. They include roundsmen, rovers, and other correction officers whose primary duty is not supervising a housing unit. Beat up squads were responsible for the deaths of Benjamin Van Sant at the Fishkill Correctional Facility in 2014 and Samuel Harrell, also at Fishkill in 2015. Marcy is a medium security state prison located just outside of Utica, New York, about 250 miles northwest of New York City. Video from the body worn cameras of multiple correction officers captured them killing Brooks at Marcy. According to petitions, prosecutors filed for court orders to disarm three of the guards police believe were involved in Brooks' killing. The petitions were sworn under penalty of perjury and filed by a state trooper in state Supreme Court in Utica on Tuesday. They provide the public with the first detailed look into Brooks' killing. Preliminary findings by the Onondaga County Medical Examiner are that Brooks' death was caused by asphyxia due to compression of the neck, according to the petitions. The exact timeline is not clear at this point, but after mortally injuring Brooks, he was transported to a Utica hospital where he was declared dead on December 10th. We know from the body cam footage that he actually died on December 9th, and they did not transport him to the hospital until about 3 hours later. Daniel F. Marticello III, Commissioner of the Department of Corrections and Community Supervision, first disclosed Brooks' death on December 15th. He said it happened after a quote unquote use of force by guards. On December 21st, Governor Kathy Hochul announced she ordered the commissioner of the Department of Corrections and Community Supervision to fire those responsible for Brooks' death. Yesterday, I directed DOC's Commissioner Martuscello to immediately begin the termination process for 14 individuals who were involved in the fatal attack on an incarcerated individual at Marcy Correctional Facility, a news release said. We also know, because this is an older article, that 4 more staff members got disciplined and got suspended without pay. So now it's a total of 18 staff members. I believe it's 15 corrections officers and 3 nurses, but don't quote me. Even the union representing New York's prison guards calling the killing of Brooks incomprehensible. CO Farina quit while being questioned by police. Doc said it would fire Sergeant Tromley, the beat up squad's alleged leader. Sergeant Michael Mashaw and COs Matthew Gallagher, Nicholas Anzalone, David Kingsley, Nicholas Kiefer, Robert Kessler, Michael Fisher, Christopher Walrath, Michael Alon, Shay Schultz, and David Walters, Doc said. It also said it would fire a nurse, Kyle Deschnaw. And when we take a look at the body cam footage, toward the end, we see Kyle Deschnaw shaking his head after trying to get a pulse, trying to get vitals. So this is why we believe that he died on December 9th on the spot, and they attempted to revive him, but it did not work. And this is part of the cover up, I believe, that he passed away at Marcy Correctional, and he did not die at the hospital he was transported to. Brooks was serving a 12-year sentence for first-degree assault. The body camera video investigators from the state police and DOC's Office of Special Investigations gathered from 4 of the guards captured Sergeant Tromley and CO Farina driving from an office outside the prison to a prison entrance and walking inside. They find guards surrounding Brooks, who is handcuffed with his hands behind his back. Police allege in the petitions they filed in state Supreme Court on Tuesday. The guards pull Brooks' handcuffed arms over his head, pull him to his feet, and walk him forced over to a medical examination room in the prison's infirmary, where they place him on a table. CO Anzalone strips Brooks' shoes off and beats his feet while the others look on. Kingsley and Anzalone sit Brooks up, and he can be seen bleeding from the face. Farina kicks Brooks in the genitals while Anzalone punches him. Walrath pulls on one of Brooks' legs while Anzalone and Kingsley hold Brooks down. Farina punches Brooks, the petitions allege, with his left fist in the buttocks approximately 3 times. It appears Brooks is now passed out because the body camera video shows Anzalone giving Brooks a sternum rub, which is used to revive unconscious subjects. After reviving Brooks, they kill him for good. Kingsley then can be seen with his right hand on the front incarcerated individual Brooks' neck, according to the petitions. After choking him, they continue beating him. Then Kingsley, Kessler, and Anzalone appear to be pushing Brooks into the wall. Meanwhile, Sergeant Tromley appears to block medical staff from entering the room. When medical staff were finally allowed to treat Brooks, it was too late. New York prison guards' perverse misuse of medical facilities to abuse and sometimes kill prisoners in their care was revealed by Frederick Belanger in 2020. Belanger was the nurse administrator at Fishkill when Harrell was killed there in 2015. Correction officers hid a dying Farrell in a room in the prison infirmary, blocking Bellinger and other nurses from giving him first aid. Although both the Dutchess County District Attorney William V. Grady and the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, June H. Coombe, investigated Harrell's killing, neither called Bellinger as a grand jury witness, and no one was ever charged with killing Harrell. So we see a pattern here of inmates being unalived and corrections officers getting away with it. It's absolutely deplorable that this has occurred, a culture of corruption. Back to the article. 3 months after Harrell's killing, Governor Andrew Cuomo signed Executive Order Number 147, which took responsibility for investigating the deaths of all unarmed civilians killed by law enforcement, whether in custody or not, away from county district attorneys and gave it to the state attorney general. Letitia James, the current attorney general, announced she was opening an investigation into the Brooks killing in a December 16th news release. Again, we know that she ended up recusing herself at the end of December. Actually, it was January 2nd or January 3rd. Back to the article. But James already knew about the beat up squad at Marcy, and it was out of control because a federal civil rights lawsuit brought by a former inmate that her office is defending against in federal district court told her so. So, again, Letitia James knew about the abuses. I believe what she attempted to do back on December 16th when she announced that her office was doing an investigation, she was buying time. They were circling the wagons. They were playing, playing defense and figuring out how they were going to spin this and make themselves look free of this murder. But in actuality, they are responsible. They've emboldened these corrections officers to do what they did. William Alvarez sued Sergeant Trumley, CO Farina, and three other officers in 2022 for beating and choking him while he was handcuffed at Marcy in 2020. So these were the officers that Letitia James was talking about when she said they're representing officers in a civil suit, that it would be a conflict of interest. So these officers that have now uh, hopefully will be held responsible for the death of Robert Brooks, committed this heinous act against William Alvarez. She knew about it. Her office knew about it. Going back to the article, they beat him outside a prison dormitory and while they were transporting him in a van to the infirmary. When the van arrived at the infirmary, Alvarez's amended complaint in the lawsuit alleges Tromley finally intervened, telling Tuttle, one of the other officers who allegedly beat him, that's enough, whereupon the beating immediately stopped. Lawyers from the Attorney General's office are currently representing Sergeant Tromley, CO Farina, and the other COs sued in the case. Assistant Attorney General Matthew Gallagher interrogated Alvarez under oath about his claim on October 13, 2023, 13 months before Brooks was allegedly killed by Sergeant Tromley's beat-up squad. Under oath, Alvarez disclosed the existence of the beat-up squad, its members, and that it was led by Sergeant Tromley. They have what's called a beat-up squad, Alvarez alleged. What is a beat up squad, Gallagher, the assistant attorney general asked. It's the officers that go around and do the assaults and rough handling of the people, Alvarez answered. Gallagher followed up. Have you ever heard of any officer at Marcy use the term beat up squad? No, Alvarez answered. Their term for it is security squad team. They tried to kill me, Alvarez testified. They told him they were going to kill me, and there was nothing anyone can do about it. They were, he said, choking me, telling me to shut up. When asked to name members of the beat up squad, Alvarez named Farina, among others. When Gallagher asked him specifically about Tromley, Alvarez answered, he's the sergeant in charge of the beat up squad, which is the rounds sergeant. Did I hear you correctly that Sergeant Tromley is a sergeant in charge of the beat up squad? Gallagher clarified. Yes, Alvarez clearly answered, to the lawyer representing New York State. Alvarez's suit against Tromley and Farina remains pending, court records show. A year and a half ago, about the same time, Assistant Attorney General Gallagher questioned Alvarez under oath. The Correctional Association of New York published a report on Marcy calling for an investigation. Incarcerated people reported rampant abuse by staff, including physical assaults, the report warned. The Office of Special Investigations and Inspector General should investigate the widespread claims of abuse at Marcy, the report demanded. On Thursday, Jennifer Scaife, executive director of the association, told the freelance state officials should have listened to the 180-year-old prison watchdog group. If they had, Brooks might still be alive. We called for an investigation into Marcy, and a year and a half later, we've got a tragedy, Scape said. It looks like nothing was done. State Supreme Court Justice Honorable Peter M. Rahill denied prosecutors' emergency request to disarm Anzalone, Kessler, and Gallagher. Justice Rahill scheduled consecutive hearings for all three cases on January 7th, starting at 10 a.m. I believe this is still pending. James, the Attorney General, promised to release the camera video of Brooks' death after Brooks' family has had the opportunity to view it. At this point, we know the family has seen it back in December, and they, in turn, a couple weeks ago, filed a federal civil rights lawsuit, and a state lawsuit is pending. Back to the article. Late Thursday evening, Liz Mazur, an attorney representing Brooks' family, told the freelance Brooks' family had viewed the video documenting his death at the hands at Marcy Correctional Facility. As expected, watching the horrific and final moments of Robert's life was devastating for his loved ones, the statement added. Will be disturbing to anyone who views the video following its release by the Attorney General office. The Attorney General's office was asked to respond but did not. The office also declined to reveal when it plans to release the video. We know that video was released, I believe it was December 27th. Attempts to reach the prison workers, Governor Hochul ordered docs to fire, were not successful but for Anzalone and Kingsley. Anzalone said no one reached, while a woman who answered Kingsley's phone said he declined to comment. If comments are received, they will be included. Thomas Maley, a doc spokesperson, told the freelance we cannot comment on ongoing investigations. Previously, DOC's Commissioner Daniel F. Marticello III said of Brooks' killing, the vast majority of correction officers do extraordinary work under difficult circumstances, and we are all grateful for their service. But we have no tolerance for individuals who cross the line, break the law, and engage in unnecessary violence or targeted abuse. Both the New York Attorney General and the DOC's Office of Special Investigations are conducting ongoing reviews of this incident, and I am committed to accountability for all involved. Okay, that's the end of the article. We know at the moment this is still pending. The special prosecutor that was given this case is William Fitzpatrick with the Onondaga County District Attorney's Office. I will continue to monitor this case. I will keep you posted. Hopefully, we will get justice soon. By the way, if you found value in this video, please like the video, share the video, and feel free to subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.